A guide to vector and raster graphics. When you're talking about graphics, press quality artwork, PDFs, AI files, and all of that print-related stuff, one thing that can be tricky to understand is the difference between raster images and vector graphics. For the highest quality, smooth, crisp printing results, you need to understand the fundamental differences between raster and vectors. So we put together this little guide to make it easier for you. Vector graphics aren't some weird thing from outer space. Vector graphics consist of intricate paths, lines, and points. Scaling them to any size is made possible as the vectors are based on mathematical calculations. And regardless of how much you zoom in, it'll always look the same. There is no limit to how big a vector can be printed, apart from the limitations of the size, the printing press or machine that's being used, and it will never lose quality. You often see vectors being used for company logos and in technical drawings, CADs, engineering, 3D modeling, and animations. Vectors are often saved in the design industry as PDFs, AI, Adobe Illustrator, EPS, and SVG files. These types of files are best for laser engraving, etching, laser cutting, CNC routing, labels, decals and stickers, large format printing, and metal stamping. Then we come to raster images, also not from outer space. Unlike vectors, the raster formats consist of an array or collection of pixels, each a different color or tone, which when placed together form an image. You see this mostly in photographs, and you'll often see them saved as JPEG, GIF, or PNG files, which are all just common file types for raster data. Blowing up or increasing the size of rasterized images. Clusters of pixels can't be made bigger without losing quality. Every raster image has a certain number of pixels for every inch, also referred to as PPI. As an example, a 300 PPI image has 300 pixels for every inch. If you want to print an image that's 20 by 20 inches, and your printer asks you to supply images at a minimum of 300 pixels per inch, your image will need to be a minimum of 6,000 by 6,000 pixels. You can't increase the resolution of images without losing quality. While you can increase the resolution of images in software such as Photoshop, these photo editing programs achieve this by randomly generating pixels that closely match other nearby pixels. While this might work for minor size adjustments and sounds good, it's most likely that you'll end up with high-resolution images that won't print or reproduce well. What's the best format to save my files in? If you're trying to provide high-quality files for print, we recommend saving your files as PDFs, with all the transparencies flattened. All the fonts in your document should be outlined and overprint should be turned off. And rasterized images within your document should always be at least 300 PPI.